Hey, what's up, guys? This is Martin here from Ip Kodiak. I'm out here doing my outdoor workout like always in the woods on a Friday evening. It's currently around 8:15 right now. It's been a wonderful day so far. And by the way, how many people do you see besides me who are working out on a late Friday evening? None. I'm all here by myself. And this is how your journey is going to look like for the most part. You're going to be alone. Nobody's going to cheer for you. Nobody's going to tell you that you're doing a good job. Nobody's going to clap for you. At the end of the day, you're always going to be alone. And you can only count on yourself. But that's a completely different video. So in this message right here, I want to talk to all the men who are listening to me. Because most of my audience are men. There are some women who are watching me. And I love all you women. I love you. You're total baddies. But this message right here is specifically for the men who are listening to me. And this is going to be a real message. It's going to be very controversial. But I don't care. I want to spread the truth on my channel. That's all I care about. That's all I ever really cared about in the first place when I started the channel. So prepare yourself, guys. A man's life is harder than a woman's life. A man's life is much harder than a woman's life, especially in 2024, where you have all the social media, you have all the social expectations that come from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And it is much harder. Like, you could obviously debate it if you were to go back in time. If you could go back 100 years from now, 100 years back, because women had completely different rights and men were looked at as the leader of the household. They were placed higher than women on the hierarchy value. But now that's no longer the case, especially in most countries around the world. And so, you men out here, you have a harder life, especially when you're young, especially when you're very young, from the ages of 18 to 30. Because you're like, think about it like this. To all of you who have played an adventure game before, or to all of you who, maybe some of you have played a Pokemon game, or like a game where you could level up your character. It's the exact same thing with your life. When you're young, all your stats are basically at zero. Your confidence, your stamina, your strength, your fitness, your intelligence, your finances, your total mentality as a man, your decision making, your social circle, your friends, your status, and all these things are at ground zero when you're starting out. But for women, all they really have to do to be successful in life, all they have to do is just be attractive, look good, be slim, be attractive, or be pretty, and that's it. And have a good looking Instagram profile. That's really it. I think Andrew Tate talked about this on many occasions. He made this one example one time. You know, all a woman really needs is have a stunning looking body. She needs to be beautiful and have a good looking profile on Instagram, and boom, she gets a DM to be invited on a yacht in Dubai or Miami or someplace in Croatia. That's all she needs. But for a man to get on that yacht, he needs to be influential, he needs to be rich, he needs to be important, he needs to be valuable, he needs to be skilled in all these things. He needs to be a high net worth individual to ever get to a position in life where he can actually afford a yacht like that, or to have such high influential friends to get on that yacht in the first place. Do you see where I'm coming from with this? And I don't want to be that guy who, you know, talks shit about women, who badmouths women like all these red pill guys, because I'm not like one of them. I do love women. I do think they're very, very important in today's society. Because a lot of these guys, like these black pill guys, I think they're called black pill. The men who've given up on women, the black pill guys, the red pill guys, who are always talking shit about women. I'm not one of them guys. I just want to give you guys the perspective here, because I'm not saying that women are only valued based on how they look and their aesthetics, but at the same time, that's the number one thing that they're valued for in most people's eyes. Why do you think women spend so much time on getting fake boobs, on getting, these, plastic surgeries, on getting these Botox injections. Why do you think that is? On getting their nails done? Because they know that their looks play a huge part in how attractive they are and how valuable they are. But for men, it is not the same thing. Like, I mean, sure, you can be attractive as a man, be good looking, handsome. It's going to help you out. I'm speaking from personal experience. But that's not everything. It's only one part. It's only maybe 20% of the total equation. Everything else, like your status, your finances, your body, your total confidence, what type of friends you have, your social skills, your charisma, your total demeanor and conduct as a man, and your ability to provide. That's all at the bottom if you're just focusing on your looks. So that's why it's so important to level up all the stats that you guys have. You need to level up your character. But for women, it's just about being attractive and having a good looking profile on Instagram. And that's it. And I'm sure some feminists who are watching this channel are going to be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? He's just saying that I'm just valuable for my looks, for my aesthetics, for just having big boobs and a nice ass. That's not what I'm saying, girls. I'm just saying that's the number one thing that people judge you for. But for a man, you guys have to be capable and be good at so many things in life. If you don't believe me, look up at all these red pill podcasts where they invite all these girls and they give their qualifications for what type of men they like. They're all saying that, he needs to be 6 foot tall, he needs to make six figures, he needs to be good looking, he needs to be influential, he needs to be charismatic, he needs to be intelligent, he needs to be confident, he needs to have good social skills, he needs to know how to dress, he needs to know how to approach women, and yada yada yada. That's all of them are saying the exact same thing. And they're basically just describing like a top 1% man in all reality. But as for men, all we really want in a woman is just for her to be attractive and to take care of herself. That's what most men are looking for. We're not going to be looking for if she's a doctor, if she's a lawyer, and if she's attractive. Like, we would much rather have a woman that's pretty or beautiful and works as, she works as a nail artist, or she works at a grocery store, at a McDonald's. We would much rather pick a girl like that than to pick some 5 who works as a lawyer, or she's some sales manager at some real estate company. We would much rather have the former option. Believe me, most men will agree with me on this one. So, guys, don't get it twisted here. And I know a lot of the red pill guys have talked about this in the past, so I have to mention this. But your life as a man, especially when you're young, you're not at your peak yet. Women, when they're very young, from the ages of 18 to 25, that's when they're at their peak. But you guys, especially all you who are under 25 or 30, you are yet to reach your peak. You're still growing. You're leveling up your Pokemon character, your video game character. If you put in the work, because a lot of men have not put in the work at all. They've given up, they're bitter, they're spiteful, they're a victim of life. They've chosen to remain stagnant. They've chosen to let life dictate how they should live. But you guys, I'm sure that you guys are not like that. I 100% believe that you guys are doing the work, you're improving yourself, otherwise you would not be watching this channel. But a woman's life is easier than a man's life. But at the same time, when you guys get older, when you get to around 30, 40, 50, and this is speaking from experience, because I know a lot of guys who are in that age range, who are very successful at what they do, and all of them have amazing lives now. They used to struggle so much in their 20s. They didn't have any girls, they weren't making a lot of money, but they did the work, and they put their focus on personal development, on their fitness, on their finances, on being smart with what they're doing, with working on their habits, with building their mental toughness and all these things. And now, all the girls that rejected them, they don't give a shit about them. And I'm the same way. I'm not at the top yet, far from it. I'm going towards that direction. And all the girls that I used to know when I was really young, when I was like 15, 16, 17, all the baddies, and I'm 24 now, if you were to go, skip forward to 10 years later, 7, 8 years later, all of them have regressed. All of them have leveled down, so to speak. They're not as pretty as what they used to be. And that's just life. Because your looks are not going to last forever. They're temporary. So I do think that when you reach the top as a man, your life is infinitely better than a woman's life. But that's just like all the men I've talked about, that I know who are at the top. They're the outliers. They're maybe like the 0.1% of society or men. But if you are to compare the average man's life and the average woman's life, I do think that a man's life is much harder. Sure, I mean, women give birth, they have kids, they go through their struggles as well. But men, on the other hand, they have so much shit that they need to do today to be considered a good man. It's crazy, man. But life is going to be unfair. So deal with it. Stop being a victim of life. Stop saying that you're bitter. Stop saying that you're a victim, that life is not going for you. Stop being in pain. And stop putting yourself down, man. You're way more capable than you think you are. So your prime, your peak, is going to come later in life. But nobody has told you that. It's because you all listen to these stupid people online. To all the stupid people of society. Your teachers, your coworkers, your friends, your parents. Instead of listening to people who know something about life. Instead of listening to people who have really leveled up in life. Because your life is going to get easier, especially when it comes to women. Your dating life is going to be easier. And I can certainly see it from my life. When I was younger, I had a really hard time with girls because I was very basic looking. I was skinny fat. I didn't have any social skills, so no girls picked me. But now, skip forward a few years later, it's getting a lot easier for me. I don't have to do as much. And I can't imagine myself 5 years, 10 years from now when I'm successful, when I'm way more successful. So, the same thing can happen for you guys if you decide to level up. If you do decide to take the action steps that are necessary. Because most men don't. Most men, they relent, they go back, and they don't put in any work. But you have to if you want to become better. If you want to have access to more, if you want to have access to a higher quality of life. If you want to level up. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm actually going to end the video right here because it's getting really dark. But that's about it. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye.